Hello everyone, the problem that we'll look at today is fairly easy, but it's gold, so we'll look at it. It's splitting the field from 2016, but it's also a US Open, so that compensates for the fact that it's 10 years ago now. Anyways, we have N cows and there are numbers playing, obviously. It's only 5 times 10 to the fourth this time, so that's rather small, and we're trying to split the field, literally splitting the field, and then try to enclose with as little area as possible while building two enclosures instead of one and collectively enclose all of the cows, with cows on the boundary being allowed. And they must also have sides parallel to x and y axis. So the two enclosures are not allowed to overlap, and we're trying to find the minimum area that the amount of total area he can save by enclosing two instead of one, while still containing all the cows. Okay, literally, this problem, the solution is the title. The solution is to split the field, literally. So let's take a look at it. Yeah, and I also typoed apparently. I don't remember where, but notice the most important property of this problem is the fact that two rectangles doesn't intersect. So my mind just automatically went to discretizing, well, obviously. And then realized that the two fields can easily be described by splitting the field with a straight line, and whether vertical or horizontal, the cows on either side is to be contained by a singular rectangle, and we can just enumerate the line. And we can also use stuff like SC table RMQ or balanced binary tree, and what the heck is that? But we can just keep a running minimum maximum, and the array is starting a form from the opposite end. More on it in the code. Yeah, and I also didn't realize keeping min and max for both x and y, as one of them is determined by the location of line in x or y value for the end point a1 an, and that had a typo. Okay. Also, I end up never doing that, in fact. So let's see. This is sort number one, in which we sort by x-axis. So that's for splitting it with a vertical line, and we sort it by y coordinate if we split it with a vertical line. And old problem, so we have to use file. Okay, so we have to find maximum x, maximum y, minimum x, minimum y, and then we try to enumerate the line which we split after we discretize, obviously. We don't discretize? Okay, I don't understand, but yeah, the main idea is just whatever's written above. My implementation is just really crappy, but we understand. It is a simple problem. We literally split the field. Anyway, so yeah, this is an okay problem. Some coding issues. I did have a typo, but other than that, it's good. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Okay, for the grind report today, I mocked the 2020 December contest, I guess. No, 2022 this February. Okay, hold up. I think it's 2022 February, if it'll load. No, it is not 2022 February. It's 2022 December then. Let's see. If I remember. Yup, okay. Bribing friends was the only one that I managed to get some point on. In fact, I solved this a while ago. I don't remember exactly when, but it's a long time ago. Not during last year's grind, but I think I remember it was a simple DP. However, I couldn't solve it this time. And I just reviewed my solution. It was fairly simple. Should have been able to think of it. And mountains, I just completely had no idea. I can kind of smell segmentary or some kind of regional modifying data structure, but I don't really know how to implement it. So I just skipped it, and I skipped the problem three. And I actually basically had a whole idea for problem three. At first, I couldn't understand what a friendship group was. I thought it was just a connected component, but somehow the sample didn't meet that expectation. So then, after asking ChatGPT, I realized a friendship group is a subset of a connected component. How fun. Okay, so basically connected component is it's a maximal friendship group. While a friendship group is not necessarily it is necessarily a connected component. However, it is not maximal. So anyways, yeah, and my idea was actually really close to the actual one. My idea was to just keep removing until we can keep removing the smallest degree in each component, and then keep track of the answer dynamically. And then I realized that I can't maintain the connectivity after removing one, so I decided to figure out the order in which we move, and then we use that order to add it back. And then during the backward process, we keep track of the answer, because during the backward process, we can use the union find to keep track of the connectivity. However, that was very, very close to the official solutions idea, but it was not, because I couldn't actually figure out what was the real problem. And the real problem was that for each node, the contribution is however many. Okay, it's more complicated than that, but you just have to know that my idea was close, but it was not it. And you also have to know that I didn't solve a single problem today. However, I did get the main idea for strongest friendship group, and I basically solved Bribing Friends, and I understand how to solve it, and I solved it before. So thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.